Okay, hello all you crazy people out there. My name is Dragonite and welcome back to Pokemon HeartGold. So real quick, I tried to do an explanation of how Voltorb Flip the game worked, and it went really badly, and I decided to come back a little while later and explain it again. How much later? Not too long, honestly. So Voltorb Flip is the gambling game that replaced the actual gambling games because international gambling laws changed between Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So they replaced it with this, which is not actually gambling because you can't lose anything. But that's neither here nor there. I personally don't care. I like Voltorb Flip, and I think it's better than playing Slot Machine, and I'm actually kind of sad that it didn't come back in later games. Anyway, how does this work? So this is basically Minesweeper with Voltorb. I see it compared to Sudoku a lot also, and I'm not entirely sure where they get that comparison from. I can't point my stylus at the bottom screen here because you won't be able to see, so I'll just draw arrows or something in editing. The number on the top is the number of points in each row or column that they add up to. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever that adds up to. And the number on the bottom is how many Voltorbs are in that row or column. And if you tap on a Voltorb, or a tile that turns out to be a Voltorb, you lose. And you have to start over. How to play. The rows and columns with a Voltorb total of 0, you know are safe to tap on. So I'm going to, before I do anything else, flip over all of the tiles in these two rows and columns because I know they're safe because there's 0 Voltorb in them. Rows and columns which add up to 5 between the top and bottom numbers. So for example, this one here, those will contain either all 1s or a combination of 1s and Voltorbs, and they won't contribute to your score because your score is determined multiplicatively. I can never say that word. The numbers are multiplied together to give you your score. So, for example, I've uncovered a 2, a bunch of 1s, another 2, and another 2. So my score for this current game is 8. Because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And considering that there is no point value in any of in this row or this column, sorry, I'm just going to mark it with one of these guys. You're free to use the memo however you want to mark tiles. I generally don't use them for what I assume their intended purposes, which is to mark off what you think is under each tile. I just put the little circle in the corner if I know that the square is useless. It's not entirely useless to have a row or column with no point values in it, because you can use that to deduce what may or may not be hiding under something else. After there are no more rows and columns with 0, you're gonna have to start playing a little smarter. In some cases, it just comes down to detective work, to guessing. I have no way of knowing, since these rows are all 5 and 1. So there is a 2 in each of these rows somewhere, and I have no way of knowing which is which. Same goes for these guys. So I'm just gonna take a wild guess that it's not this row. Actually, I know it's not this row because the 2 has already been discovered here. And it's not this column because the 2 has already been discovered in there also. So maybe saying I had no way of knowing is a bit of an exaggeration. But these 4, I have no way of knowing. So let's, this column feels safer. So much for that. Alright, I want to play this until I get a win. Alright, let's try again. I will replay Voltorb Flip level 1. So, right off the bat, this has a 0 Voltorb in it, and this has 0 Voltorb in it. Excellent. This row has a total of 6 points and 1 Voltorb, so that means a 3 and 3 1s. So I can safely ignore, or at least mark for ignoring, everything else in this row. These 2 columns have a value of 4 and 1, so I can also safely ignore those. Where else? This one. Oops. Me and my fat fingers. That's 3 and 2, which adds up to 5, so I can safely ignore those. And already this has been reduced to, I'm gonna guess this. Okay, that worked out. And the last one has to be this one. Yes, the game, when it comes down to the end, it will occasionally ask you if a tile is what you think it is, and sometimes it will be, and sometimes it won't be. Anyway, that's game clear. I've found all of the hidden ×2 and ×3 cards. That means I've got the maximum score possible in this game, and the game is over. And that is Voltorb Flip. I'm not going to continue. The puzzles will get harder as you advance in levels. I think the highest I've gotten to is level 7, which is a complete insanity. It's like, there are very few ones that late in the game. It'll be mostly Voltorb multipliers, which you're gonna have a high score if you win, and it's considerably harder to actually win at that point. Anyway, that is my explanation for Voltorb Flip. Yeah, I think I want to quit. That went a little bit better in explaining than the first time I tried to do this, so I'm gonna go with that take, I think. Unless I find something else wrong. Arnie, shut up. You are easily impressed. Alright, enough of that, and time to go back to exploring Goldenrod City. Haha, not quite. There are prizes you can get for winning stuff with coins. You can see I have 10,000 of them. I was playing this game earlier. I wanted one of the prizes, or several of the prizes I should say, which would happen to take the form of a couple technical machines, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam. These aren't terrible either, Swords Dance, Substitute, and Rest. I might consider those because I have coins to spare, as you can see. I was playing off recording between the original take of this video and now, so I have coins, which I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with. I'll buy something, probably. You start out with 0 when you first walk into the game corner, as you can imagine. There's no free coins or anything, and you can't buy them with Poké Dollars. Alright, now it is back to your regularly scheduled video.